Welcome back, everybody, here to our D2CL game and our last game of the night. That's right, we've actually breached the 14 hours straight of being here and commentating after we started very, very early on with both ESL and Cena Cup action, and we're ending tonight on, well, if we ended with the last game, I would have been a very, very happy man. But now it's VP versus Cloud9 and virtus.pro. Well, they impressed us during game number 1. Let's see if they can do it in game number 2. I say us because I am not alone solo casting. I am joined by the man of C9, their coach, Clairvoyance. Welcome to the broadcast.
Toby, good to be here once again. Thank you for having me as usual, and thank you for letting Death Prophet through the pool because it will get first picked, and here it is, VP responding with the Priestess of the Moon that they're so familiar with the Void.
Yeah, so they deny Cloud9 the combination at least, but VP, I don't think they'd be too sad about this. Like, the Death Prophet was popular, obviously, it did a hell of a lot of lift work, God playing that in the last game. But
he played so well that game.
Having both the Void and the Mirana, I don't know, I just feel like there's more options open with this. Jottam Mirana, you wouldn't pass it up anyway. But the Faceless Void, you can run him off lane, you can run him safe lane.
Remaining.
I've even actually had a game where he was run middle lane earlier today. So anything is really possible with this hero, where Death Prophet, she's kind of set in the ways a little. Like it's middle lane or maybe safe lane, but
yeah, well, in terms of flexibility on positions, I would say Priestess is up there as the top. But I mean, yeah, the setup on both teams so far is good. There's just not too much to go into detail about. But speaking strictly in terms of draft, you know, Cloud9, I think I did point out about the third pick Dazzle, how they limited their pick order from that point on, because it not only shows your cards early on and in terms of what you wanted to do with the lineup, but yeah, like if this situation happens where if Skywrath gets picked second and then you take like a third support that's somewhat limited in playstyle, you know, Dazzle is a hero that's somewhat stagnant in the lane, you try to zone out the enemy and you need levels on the hero to function in teamfights, then the enemy will figure you out and they will split you up and do what's necessary to force you out of your comfort zone. And I think that's what happened. And as I went on after game 1, you know, just to talk with the boys, I think that was definitely brought up and a certain concern on their mind that you can't pick up the second support that early.
See, this is how you get all your inside information. Like even between the games, you're like, just jump into TeamSpeak, see what's going on.
Can't do much though, honestly. You know, it's hard when you lose for any team. Losses, Toby. They're not easy on life, dude. They stress you out and they kill you.
Okay, I still want to ask you a question though before we start looking at the next part of our draft. Rocket Gyro in general.
The conclusion is viable. You saw those team fights. You saw what it did, right? All these heroes just wagging their tails between their legs and running away.
Yeah, but is this what we look to? Like, is it just a, like, because you're not used to playing up against it anymore, does it become a chaos factor with the Rocket? Because the hilarious thing is, like, we see the builds still coming up, like, players like Silent, for example, still play the Gyrocopter, normally with an extra help, like he has the buff up of the Wisp, which makes it really insane. Like, if they had a Wisp in that game, Buffy the Gyrocopter, would have said GG straight away. We're just like, relocate in, Rax is gone, life is good, if you're a Cloud9 boy. But yeah, in that game it was just a Gyro standalone middle lane solo with mech. It seems so unusual. I'm not fully sold on it. I think the chaos is only gonna be momentary, and people will get used to it, or just keep it in mind after that last game, because that last game's gonna flag on everyone's radars. So everyone will check out the replay. They'll look at it and go, "All right, is this really?" And they'll be keeping it in mind next time you do see the Gyro pick up for a Cloud9. I don't think it's gonna work again.
So this is very interesting now. It's been a while since I've seen Void and Viper together. For some reason, usually when one team gets Void, the other team gets Viper kind of thing, because Viper, I guess theoretically, you reduce the damage in the chrono and it's hard to burst you down, so it works like that. And of course, the safe lane Viper is decent at zoning out the Void, because he has a PMS, and what's really good against him is the DLTs from the Viper. But it's been a while since I've seen them together, and I think like the last time I seen them together was like a LGD type of playstyle, where you have this Invoker with the Viper, and possibly with the Void as well, where you have these Sunstrike combos and you just have these stable cores that do okay in their lanes, and eventually when they gather become like an unstoppable force. So I'm not sure what VP has in mind right now, but I have to say last time they played Viper, they lost that game, and I believe it was somewhat of a throw because they had a huge lead and didn't push the issue. Yes, it was against Navi, right? The enemy team, Navi, actually snuck in a Roche right under their noses when they were like 10k, 15k advantage on them, and then they just came back. It was weird.
I actually ran out of things to say. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I do believe we did cast that game together. It was an interesting one to see.
We did?
Because and then the second game followed up and Navi just did their thing. But Wraith King, you know, what better to deal with one-hit wonders like Voids and these Vipers? You pick up a Wraith King who might potentially end up getting kited forever, but at the same time has 2 lives to deal with the one-hit wonders.
Is this going to be a core Wraith King then? Considering Pilot I seems to be playing a lot of Wraith King, but with the Skywrath Mage pickup, like, you'd probably flag like Pilot Eye onto that hero.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible, but I'm getting more of a Jakiro vibe out of this one, like a THD, and I know Team Tinker just ran it last game as well. The Wraith King Jakiro, like the support duo, it gives you so much presence in the map in general. Like even if you don't get early kills with the roam coming out of those two because they might not be that efficient, what you get is after a couple levels, these heroes are just naturally more tanky because of the life leech coming out of the Wraith King. And the Wraith King just becomes such a great frontliner while the Jakiro does so much work on towers. So I'm expecting that. Then again, yeah, because the Skywrath is already picked up, so I don't know exactly what line of thought they're working under with.
The other option is you run an aggro tri-lane and put Bone 7 as the core Wraith King. And then Skywrath Mage +1. Actually, even then you don't really need to do a +1, because the Wraith King versus the Faceless Void, if you even just have like that direct matchup with a +1 in that, you're kind of okay.
Oh, I really don't. I really don't prefer that matchup.
I think, don't? Yeah,
because I think Void gets too much when you get that situation.
But if you run like a Wraith King and a Skywrath Mage, you work out this is going to be like a Faceless Void off lane. So you're alright, let's put a Wraith King and Skywrath Mage up against that one. We'll get a nice tanky hero for the off lane. And then just maybe give him a Lich or something like that to control the lane.
Well, the other problem with that though is that even if the Skywrath can deal with the Void, first of all, Tidehunter is better at dealing with the Void, and looks like that's the choice that Cloud9 has for themselves. But secondly, this Wraith King getting kited by a Viper issue, it becomes a lot more prevalent when the Wraith King becomes a core. I'll tell you that much. He can't just jump in freely because his life is actually important at that point.
10 seconds
and
remaining.
Viper can just always go round 2 so long as he gets stunned up once, because the corrosive and the poison attack will slow the Wraith King, and Wraith King will be forever alone.
I was gonna say to the Huz, just because I run out of words one time, like the world doesn't have to end because of that, man. It happens. It happens. When you've been talking straight for a grand total of, actually now I realize, 15 hours I've been talking straight for, you run out of things to say. I'm surprised I even got to cover some of the team fight during the last engagement with the camera. Oh, my brain was like an English breakfast, scrambled, eggs everywhere, with a touch of bacon.
I can just picture you right now, Toby. You're like your hair is falling out and your eyes are all bloodshot. Like,
dude, I'm getting all numbers in
lines
this.
just being drawn into the pupils from 10 different angles, and you're dying, brother. Stay alive.
Don't have that kind of image of me. Like the one I've accepted is everyone thinks I'm fat.
virtus.pro
I will accept that. Little chubby around the sides.
This is true. This is true. Okay, true.
Yes, it is true. Like, you know, you've met me.
No, you're not that fat, dude.
No, there's definitely some fatter people out there, but
you a big bone, brother. That's what you are, dude.
No, I don't have big bones. No, it's definitely fat, because I know if I was big boned, I could never lose it again.
10 seconds remaining.
And there is going to be one time. There's going to be one time, Matt. There will be one time. I am going to put on my Twitter saying I am having 1 month holiday. It will be had. I haven't had holidays in years. The most amount of time I had was 4 days over last New Year's. And even that was because I went down to see my family, because I was in Singapore for an event. So I was just, I'll pop down there, and then I came straight back to work again. I will have holidays, I'll eat healthy, I'll do fitness, I'll go running, I'll go jogging, I'll do all that kind of jazz. It's just impossible to do when you cast a schedule like we do, or work like we do here. But we must, in order to make things work. To make Jonah
you must persevere, Toby.
Yes, the sacrifices, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
Ooh.
Cloud
Interesting, interesting.
How are they? Okay, so no. I came up with a concept and then realized just how stupid it was. What is this Pugna meant to be doing here? Like, it's one of the very few lamps you look at from the virtus.pro and you go, oh yeah, so they got Jakiro, they got Pugna, they got like a DK, they can tick down the towers, they got all these different things together that can like assault the towers directly with like cover fire with martial machines, but all of that doesn't exist. You got Earthshaker and Mirana, who I assume are going to be cores here, supports here, and then the other 3 cores. What are they meant to lane here? Who's meant to be the real strong combination? BZZ's Pugna, so he's going safe lane and Pugna. Either that or they try an aggro movement with the Earthshaker, Mirana, and Pugna together. Actually, that's more possible the more I think about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It kind of seems like they've got a little bit of everything, but not exactly a focal point for anything. I would say the Viper and the Pugna work well together, and it's been demonstrated in the past because those 2 heroes I think VP have picked together. And also the Earthshaker is just a really nice setup for the incoming ganks to prevent that, or once again set up for Viper to do his thing and block out targets.
10 seconds.
I don't know. I feel like VP's lineup is good. I actually think Cloud9's lineup is superior when it comes specifically to lanes and ganking. Because Earthshaker and Potom, people think like those 2 heroes combo really nicely when it comes to gank, but it really doesn't, because that ES stun is not long enough of a guarantee for Priestess to land her arrows. But those are just the naturally really good set of supports, and I would say the only other thing you could do in this situation is pick up a Rasta instead of the Potom, or a Rasta instead of the Earthshaker, in which case their lineup would become a little bit more squishy. And it is an Eternal Envy Naga, so looks like one of those games where if Cloud9 can actually survive the laning phase, they will be able to just take over the game completely with a Radiance Naga.
That's a big if though, like if they can survive the laning phase. This is
as with Cloud9 always, it's an if they can do well in the laning phase.
I'm glad to get so much confidence.
What can I tell you, dude?
If you can get through it, then you'll be fine. Well, I'm looking at the VP lineup with the fact they've got 2 heroes that are 2 of the greatest roaming heroes. 2 heroes which VP love playing as well. So you get the Mirana Jotum, and you got the Yol Earthshaker. These 2 guys are already going to cause you havoc during the early laning phase. Now, they're going to dual lane it up, at least for the moment, because Jotum's probably just going to roam most of the time, so I don't even think we can really class him as a laner. But he'll put down Observer Wars to watch the bottom rune rotation. Mainly also looking for anyone that tries to come up behind on the bottom lane and cause some problems for Seedoy, who will be the Faceless Void on the off lane. Jotum is actually already moving back up towards the mid. God will be the mid lane solo. He's gone Wraithband early on, so it's going to battle for CS. Yol will be supporting BZZ on the safe lane, and BZZ is probably going to just force a push, if possible. While Cloud9, they're going to have Fader in the middle lane as the Death Prophet, and that puts Bone7 as the off-lane Tide Hunter. And Aoi 2000 right now doesn't belong to a lane, but he'll rotate himself around wherever he's needed, while Paradise will do the pulling and supporting for Eternal Envy. But this means you're running 2 melees up against the Faceless Void.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how well that will go. Once again, the issue with this hero is if you let this offlane Faceless Void stay even with your carry and levels, or most of the time if you have like this 2v1 situation and the pulling is not perfect, the Void will actually jump ahead in experience. Then what happens is the solo kill potential just grows, and especially in a melee versus melee situation, like Naga won't get harassed that easily because she's got armor and she's going to push out the wave with Riptide every now and then with harassment. But if it were any other hero, Void would have a relatively easy time. And as I say that, AUI is actually coming back to do his zoning.
Yeah,
so this is going to annoy
Fissure and Arrow will connect. He wasn't ready for the Arrow, he was ready for the Fissure because he had an Observer Ward watching it. That's a good 5-second stun over on him. Cuts his way through the tree line, but God will take the first blood here. Take a lot of damage for it, but it's first blood nonetheless.
That was a really, really nice first blood, as opposed to the other one from last game, because the creep wave control is still in VP's favor. G can actually maneuver the whole creep wave as he wants here. He's going to deny up some more creeps, and there's the attempt. He has the 2 range creeps on the enemy side, which is going to push up to his hill. And as soon as he gets his bottle, he's going to dictate however he wants in this lane. So Fada is going to be hurting quite a bit now that he's going to come back. He didn't even TP in. He has a clarity, and Away,
Bone 7's in more trouble. Decrepify, the arrow's flying up too. It won't connect. She hits on the melee creep, but the Fidget connected while he is decrepified up, so there's a lot of damage coming into him, and there's no Kraken Shell. He went Anchor level 1, he hit level 2, but never leveled the Kraken. So that's now 2-0 in favor of virtus.pro.
That was a pretty weird gank. Not too sure if that one should have succeeded, but nevertheless, they do commit behind the tower, and they do get the kill they're looking for. So really nice for VP so far. Surprised to see their supports aren't level 2 yet, though, due to that 3-hero shared experience penalty.
It seems like they're always a little bit too far away. They don't stick around for the experience from the creep wave, so there's no real leeching coming out from them when they move around. But I just want to flag, too, the fact that the fissure and the arrow combination in the middle lane, got him through the arrow before. Like, the fissure was there, and he threw it going, well, okay, I can't really get like Bone 7 Fader locked in. He wanted to. This observe board in the top lane on the Ancient made it impossible for him to get in range to get the proper lockdown because Fader never went down far enough. So Jotum realized that the positioning of Fader was right in this corner box, so he just threw the arrow down. And then they realized, like, okay, the arrow's on target. I need to make sure Fader's going to remain there as he just throws another arrow through the same box. That's 2 points poison, 1 point. Why's he got only 1 point? He's got the Nether Toxin instead. Yeah, but he realized I can throw the fissure and 100% ensure that Crob will not be moving from that spot. So the arrow was capable of connecting. Just a small thing. Normally it's like fissure or something set up for the arrow.
Honestly, that kill attempt is just way too, it's overzealous, because what that forced is a lot of damage on G while his bottle was going back, and he's fine now, but that gave a downtime for Fada to say, okay, I can actually walk up right now, because they tried to dish out their kit and didn't succeed their kill on me. So Fada picked up a lot of extra CS that he shouldn't have in that situation, and he's going to be really happy with that, because he's just about to pick up his bottle.
He's just about to pick up his bottle, but okay, he's going to be really happy with that, but considering he's happy with that, that's probably a depressing factor right there. Like, yeah, sure, he's got money for his bottle, which is coming out in the courier, but he's already so far behind God. I suppose there is one upside, the fact that Eternal Envy's still getting a lot of free farm over on this Naga Siren. And we were expecting VP to do, like, a lot more damage in the early portion of this game. But since those first 2 kills, like, Yold moves back, he's finding his levels. You got Mirana as well, prepping up stacks, but that's basically all.
Yeah. Well, it'll have to show after the stacks are actually taken, and Bone 7 gets himself a nice stack of his own, or at least has initiated the process.
He just failed on the 3rd stack. So he's got the double stack right now, but he just attempted it then, but it didn't stack on him. There was a mud golem, there was a granite golem that got himself back in range of here, so it blocked the camp from spawning. Small detail. Sorry, Bone 7, you're doing wonderful. You're doing wonderful. Keep it up.
He's sitting there to scout out the heroes or potential arrows coming in, and there it is, one stray arrow, once again off the mark, but enough to pressure Fada and say that I can't walk up too far because I might just get caught out one time.
Jotum, he's coming in. He's dropping Sentry Wars down now. Bone 7 has to ping this out, and he'll realize that he can't stack it in a moment. Which means he won't be able to get the 5-minute stack. He might be able to get the 6-minute, but he'll have to commit Sentry Wars in order to do so. I want to flag one big thing. Like, for the lack of farm the Tide's got, lack of experience as well, he's still got more than a Void. Not experience-wise, Void's managed to crack level 3, but Void hasn't got a single last hit, because Owie 2000 has been in that lane every single time Cedo wants to cross over the river point.
Yeah. Honestly, in this metagame, like, I'm not even sure how effective this is, what AUI is doing. It's okay to sacrifice yourself at the expense of a Void. I mean, you definitely don't want this Void getting level 6, but at one point, this Skywrath is just going to be such an easy kill that heroes like Void, you know, with 1 or 2 kills, they completely catch up, which is why they're able to go in the offlane in the first place. Their catch-up potential is guaranteed in the Chronosphere. So, I'm not too sure how effective it'll be in the long run. We'll just have to see.
He's still finding levels though, like he's just zoning him out for the moment. He'll come over. It's only when he comes up to the creep wave that he moves over. And that observe ward that's inside the lane has done most of the work for him. But, like, it's Pilot I who's the man who preps the stacks. And they're both going to hit level 6 roughly around the same time. Viper Strike's going to be thrown to Fader in the mid lane. Jotum's already missed the arrow, but a leap down. Hoi! Crypt Swarm, God! He's low on life, but Jotum does the nice thing and takes the aggro away for him. He'll drop low, but not dead. Which means they get away with murder.
That's extremely critical too, because if you see how Jordan's playing, he's keeping his presence at the mid lane the whole time, but he's also had successful stacks, which guarantees farm later on. And I'm not entirely sure who's going to take it. Maybe it's going to be a joint effort. Maybe it's just the Pugna slowly bringing it down. But overall, the effectiveness of the Priestess support is a lot bigger on the map than the presence of Highlight Eye and AUI at the moment.
If that Pugna does try to slowly take it down, then he's going to be building into like a very quick Necro unit. Like a Necro book or something along those lines.
I don't know. Have you seen BZZ play? I don't know what item he goes for first. I don't think I'll have an issue with it, but...
I remember I normally see Aghanims from him, and with that... with a combination like that... Yeah. Potential... Wait,
oh,
Envy.
dear.
BZZ's too far away. Now he's in range, though. He had to turn the corner, which is why BZZ came in range. But the Hellfire Blast will happen. He's got Decrepit Fire available, and he's going to just throw the blast out. Pardai will drop low, but they don't get a kill from it. But the tier 1 tower is still being brought down. The Catapult's doing the work. But it looks like C9 will get there in time to ensure the denial. Catapult's gone, which means yes, 100% denied tower on the top lane. But VP do still bring down the first tower of the game.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've seen this last time Envy played Naga. I'm not sure if you were there to cast it as well. I'm not entirely sure if I was there, heck. But he built the Arcane Boots again. I personally think this hurts Naga Siren a lot, but given his farm at the moment, you know, it's actually going really well for him.
Vader is not going to let John do the D-warding here. Oh wait, D-ward, D-ward, D-ward! They can't do it quick enough. The Fissure, y'all held onto it for too long. They had to drop a secondary sentry ward. In the meantime, Skyward Mage is going to go down, but they're coming in for this. Envy, there's your Riptide. I was going to say it's a good thing he had the mana for that, or else he wouldn't have the Riptide. Good thing he has Arcane Boots. God's in a little bit of trouble. The arrow's on the way in, but it's well off target. The Riptide into the Gush, and then a quick Crypt Swarm allows Death Prophet to get the kill.
And that right there is what you would call the beginning of a throw. I don't know what else to call it there. He's actually going for round 3 on the Sentry Ward here. Oh no, it's still round 2. The second one's still alive because they actually committed past the hill and got the one previously. But let's see if they want to block up the stack again. Jodom's sitting there. It looks like he wants to.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit more devious about this Sentry Ward though. But at the same time, Tidehunter, he doesn't really want to go up there just yet. When he hits level 5 and has the second point up in the Kraken, he might feel a little bit more confident about doing that stack.
I think he'll need level 6 actually. I think he'll need 3 points in Anchor Smash for the damage to actually kick in.
A lot of movement. There's no Chrono, but the Decrepit Fight, drained, Bone 7, low on life, and Aoi 2000 just walks up. Seedoy leaps himself over the top to block the escape path. While Bone 7, God just needs one attack. One attack to slow him down. The arrow's on the way in,
335. Oh, arrow.
He turned!
Oh, good enough.
He turned! He flinched because he saw the arrow coming in. But because he did that, he got himself in range of God. He had the movement speed on him too. Like it was 335 versus the 360. He had the movement speed on him. As long as he didn't turn and flinch when the arrow came, he would have been okay.
Yeah. And then they got the tower, and most importantly, the Void. You know, before 10 minutes into the game, he's still caught up to his levels, his quota. He's still level 6. He's picked up the Chronosphere and is available for use at any time. And now they're gonna anchor push at mid, which is gonna be good because Pugna not only has mana boots available, but mech. So the timing is perfect. The Chronosphere is available, all their spells are available, and I would imagine this push will become a success in one way or another.
Well, Eternal Envy could actually cause some problems for it. He does have his sleep available, but the Observer's watching all the heroes. So, VP could be slowed down. Naga.
Oh, Seedoy, I think he just showed himself. That's pretty critical too. I don't think he should be showing himself.
The Fissure from Yol, he's looking. Well, Seedoy, it's just the Observer for the dire side. I don't think he really did show himself. Because if he did, Pilot Die as well as Envy would have noticed it, or should have noticed it. Now they've got 4 heroes all grouped together. Vader triggers the ultimate. There's no Ravage, just a good Anchor Smash. Now Aoi 2000, well, seals up over on Yol. Very quick on the Anchor Smash. No Mystic Flare available in this game, but after the fight, Seedoy comes in for the Chrono. He's focusing on Bone 7. The arrow from John flew in too. A little bit off target. Ends up just being a 2-for-1 trade-off. Somehow I thought VP would be coming off a lot worse than that.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it given the positioning, but it's just really unfortunate the Ravage wasn't there. He just picked it up as the Chronosphere came in, and
they're gonna find John with no leap away. Yol, he beats himself in, goes straight for the Fissure. That sealed a little bit too late. Now Pilot caught by the arrow. He'll drop, and jumping out is Seedoy. There's a lot of MP now to choose from. So they might just attack on the Fader instead. God getting instead, and there's your Misty Flare up from Aoi. Ravage as well from Bone 7. They'll bring down the Viper. BZZ though starts the Trevor fight. The Fissure as well. All 4 heroes getting caught in this. They're draining on the Bone 7, but he's able to get himself out of range. Still Cito leaps in, Anchor smashed up. He's lost all of his damage. The Orb is flying with the Crypt Swarm too. They'll pick him up from range. Pugna will bring down the tower. But Piedeye TP's himself in. Straight Hellfire Blast into BZZ. He doesn't look like he's actually finished. He's rotating over to find Bone 7.
Oh, BZZ.
Bone 7 has the Observe Board, so he knows he's there. And the Decrepify blasting, he's got it. In fact, he's going to blast and then Decrepify around the corner. And the ping will come up saying from Tidehunter, they can see me here. Why? Why can they do this?
Go figure. Yep. So it appears that the Cloud9 jungle is warded. And BP taking advantage of that vision, not only taking the 2 towers, but with very well-placed wards that are extremely hard to counter. If you look at them, like nobody really counters up those spots at this point in the game. So really nicely done by them so far. And I know they do have the Dara advantage. I'm not too sure how much of an objective Roshan is this game as much as towers, because their physical damage aspect isn't that strong. But perhaps with the Void picking up an item or 2, they might look to that.
I think Job needs to pick up an item or 2. He's got Crypt Swarm to the face and lost like half of his life points from it. At least he's got the Urn. Like, the Urn's sitting back in stash for the moment. But it looks like the Courier is currently busy going past the secret shop. It went down to bottom lane. So BZZ's got Mech and Point Booster now on him. God's got Point Booster and Ogre Club over on him. So the Aghanim Scepter's arriving pretty early for God. And the Arcane Boots are already up for the Earthshaker. So they're running double Arcanes on this bottom. It's a lot of spam ability coming off. And there's actually triple Arcane Boots over on Cloud9. I'm not so sure about this. I know they're rather mana intensive early on, but still, trip Arcanes?
Well, that's definitely too much. I think one of the reasons is because the supports of Cloud9, they're not with the Nagastar most of the time. Envy, for what it's worth, plays alone a lot in his movements, so it's difficult for the supports to keep up with him. But in general, I think even 2 right now is kind of overkill. With Magic Stick these days, there's so much fights that sustain is not as big of a concern.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
There'll be a tower trade-off right now. BTC's waiting for the blast timing. And there it goes. So tier 1 for a tier 2 tower, virtus.pro. Probably still feeling they got the better trade out of this one, because now Cloud9 have no easy access into their own jungle. They got killed off there before.
Medallion. I think they want to do Roche with this.
So that should be rather quick. God just TP'd himself up to top lane. I don't think they want to do Roshan just yet. Wait till wait till the Ags are up and running. Because you got 500 gold till the Viper's got his. BZZ, he's still another 2,000 gold away from it, so maybe they don't wait for him. But they should definitely wait for the Viper to have his own.
Yeah, this mech is going to be so big because, I mean, even though Eternal Envy had such a good time this game overall, his item choices to this point, I would say to the point where the items were kind of necessary, but it still halts him back from the Radiance. And what Pugna does with his ultimate when he has Aghanims to Naga Illusions is just crazy. It just instantly pops them just like Mana Drain. They just disappear off the map, and I think BZZ can just knock out Naga Illusions like dominoes this game. So it's going to be tough. I mean, every time Cloud9 want to take a fight, they have to be the initiators, not BP.
Agreed. But how are you supposed to initiate when you don't have your initiating items? There's no Blink Dagger on Pile Die. There's no Blink Dagger over on the Tidehunter.
They will have to commit to the sleep, but then the problem becomes the fact that Void can always respond with a Chronosphere. Yeah. So Cloud9 are actually at a bad spot right now, and I would say they did lose a couple extra kills from the laning phase than they should have, which resulted in all the tier 1 towers disappearing off the map so early.
There's still a lot of time being wasted by virtus.pro though. So for all the advantage which they've had, like they've just found themselves moving as like 4 heroes more than they've just been farming up inside the lanes. So because the gold advantage is starting to kick back up again, moving from 4,000 up to 3,000, and the experience earned is actually moving up for Cloud9. They have the advantage in this, reaching around 1,500 going their way. Doesn't seem like much when you're only 15 minutes into the game, but it's telling more of a story of who's actually there in the lanes. You got 5 heroes from BP looking to Roshan, and the Naga Riptide's on BZZ, and flags the fact they're in here. They'll probably also see the fact Medallion is up on Jotum. But the trade-off's still coming in. Pilot Eyes forcing the bottom lane with Aoi. They're trying to force the lane as quickly as they can. That's why they're spamming their abilities. But you got Envy farming up top lane. You got Fader finding regeneration runes and farming up mid. And maybe even if they lose the tier 1 tower, Cloud9 will be happy with the trade-off here.
Yeah, I think Cloud9 are pretty content with this. Once again, the name of this game is for Naga Siren to get huge, and Eternal Envy, look at his farm, Toby. He's doing so well this game. So much better than a lot of the other Naga games that we're used to seeing from him. Although in recent times, you know, he had that 8-slot game that was pretty epic. So let's see if he can replicate that, because he's certainly on his way to do so.
Well, if they can just give him a little bit more space, maybe. It's at 3.4k gold right now, so getting closer and closer towards that relic. Really needs some radiance to make it worthwhile, but on bottom lane, BZZ, Pardo just wants to run in for this. There's no observable actually looking for this, but at the same time, Cedo is just around the corner. And Wraith King's not ready to fight yet. Aoi 2000 though, he definitely is. But the creep waves are all coming down too far. And because there's no tower here, it's just a simple leap in. They don't want to commit Chrono. Oh, okay, well, Reincarnation's going to still be there. And BZZ used his drain. They pinged at the fact, okay, this Narrow from Jodam.
Oh, Jodam.
With the medallion, Pylai died, the Decrepify was there to amplify it all up, and then the Starfall, they get the kill. But in the middle lane, you've got Fader. He'll take the tier 1 tower out with his Exorcism, and then just TPs himself out to safety. He's taking no risks whatsoever as this Death Prophet. They want the trade, and they want out.
That was a really good move by Fader there. Of course, Pylai died. It's an unfortunate circumstance, because AUI was camping for the longest time trying to make something happen, but little did they know that VP, when they commit to a kill, they don't just bring 1 or 2, they bring 3 and possibly more, which allows them to just push in the lanes even deeper as well and take over the enemy jungle in this case. So a really, really nice job by VP there, and really nice job by Feda to respond that way. That mid tower was really huge for them, and it's unfortunate Roshan's already down, but the next one certainly won't be as easy.
MVC being out of top. He's got 4.4k gold. No risk Dota. He's got a big creep wave on bottom lane, which now Fader will take. It's all the fun for the greedy Death Prophet. But the mid tier 2 tower, he'll be needed for this. Now there's no Exorcism, it's still on cooldown for 53 seconds, which is maybe a reason why VP are looking just to force under this tier 2 tower. They know they're going to take the tower directly with the Pugner. Also notice too, the Pugners are building the Actim Scepter. BZZ, in fact, is going to go in for a BKB instead. Protection from all of this magical damage of C9. I'm more concerned though he's going to get isolated. Triggers the BKB and the Naga Sleep goes off. And then all of C9 just pound into him.
Top tower is under attack.
They're going to take the tier 2 tower. Mask of Madness over on Cedoy. If they're going to go, they're going to go now. But Envy's still too busy farming up. He's back over on the dire side of the jungle. And well, Viper, wow, what the hell is he doing up that far? He's got a haste rune, I know, but
up, you know, he really wants to use the Aegis, or at least let them know and assert his dominance.
Well, maybe he can assert somewhere else, except like underneath the tier 3 tower. But he'll run up north. Now Envy's gonna there was the quick spot out. Wraith King was actually the man pinging it out. But Aoi's still got enough for... he's only got Misty Flare, though. He'll have Arcane Boots up in a moment, but still, it's not enough mana to let both Arcane, Concussive, and Seal, and Mystic Flare all together.
If you look at VP's movement right now, it looks pretty funny, because they're pinging out a target right under the Radiant jungle, thinking that somebody was hiding there. But the entirety of the Cloud9 line was basically poised around the top left corner of the map. So, Bone7 just finished farming his Ancients, and holy moly, Toby, he's got 3.8k gold in his inventory. What is going on?
What the hell is he doing then? Like, shouldn't there be a Blink Dagger on this guy already?
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me he's
no.
Oh my gosh.
No.
It's gonna happen.
No.
Because they have Naga. He's gonna do it.
What, Refresher Ravage straight?
Yeah,
come
just
on.
Rush Refresher, first item. I have never seen this before in my life.
I haven't
By golly,
either.
if it works.
Nahaz, find us a stat man. Obviously, you are a stat man, but still.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
What the hell?
Toby, you can't just say that. What the hell?
Look, no, legitimately, this shouldn't work. And legitimately, he's sitting there going, okay, guys, we're not going to do anything for the next, let's say, roughly 10 minutes. Because he still needs to farm up an Orchid. Like, he's got the money for the recipe, but he still needs to farm up the Oblivion stuff, sorry. And now, he's just admitting defeat as a Tide Hunter, saying, you have to come to us and come under the Naga Sleep. And all other times, like, the Naga Sleep controls alt. So if the sleep goes down, Pwn7 is literally a Fog of War Ravage Man. Or a VP overcommitting Ravage Man. Which means Cloud9 don't dictate the terms of anything here apart from the split push, which is being provided by Naga Siren. But this is still a Drums Arcane Radiance Naga Siren. It's not as strong yet.
Certainly not as strong, but I think the impact of Naga is actually showing on Envy's team as well. If you look at over Tabata, he's been playing relatively well despite his early game conditions, but even then his farm is really lacking overall. And I would have to say, I know Bone 7's rushing this big item too, but it just seems like Cloud9, feels like they're getting out farmed. Even Envy right now, he's got all his illusions at bottom, and they lose the tier 2 tower for not that much of an exchange yet. Of course, the tier 1 tower at bottom will go down, but there's already VP banging on the doors of Cloud9 at the top lane.
Yeah, and Naga has to come back for this. But you notice where VP's positioning is. Cito's sitting at the back, the arrow's coming in from Jotum, and it will connect. That's a 5 seconds on over on Fader. Envy, he's got to sleep right now, or else Fader is dead, and she's already too late. The attack on Gold while he's in behind the tower, the Riptide already doing his damage, and Bone 7, Mystic Flare, they're trying to dish out the damage to Cito, backtrack, and then the Naga sleep will go. Fader will trigger the ultimate. Pilot has already got his extra stun, but he's just standing there for the moment. Now he comes back to the wall of the living, and it's a double kill coming the way of God. Fader, the Yules had to bought himself some time, but now back in for the exit, some damage. It's going to be a double kill for Fader. Pilot is still up, and BZZ, goodbye, Sunny Jim. Aoi will take a double kill. Fader will take a double kill. And the Miranda is already getting back up at base. This is when that kind of engagement works perfectly. I thought Envy was waiting a little bit too long on the Song of the Siren, but seemed to pay off perfectly with the positioning of Fader.
You know, it was actually weird because he got stunned. I don't know exactly what. I would imagine it had to be either a stray Fisher or a bottom arrow, but the arrow just caught the target that G went for, so I can't imagine it would have come off cooldown that early. But regardless, he was actually stunned for a moment there, and that's why he didn't sleep right away. And as you said, it worked out in the end. So
Chrono,
no
Aoi, the arrow's a little bit off target. 4 stuff away from him. He's got no mana for a Mystic Flare. Actually, he does if he uses this 1 charges. But instead, the Yules have been used by Fader to keep that hero away. Now the Fisher will still go on to Fader, but there's no... Well, actually, there's the Blink Dagger, but he's already been used by Yol. And Cito's got no chase. And by the way, the arrow connected to start with over on the Death Prophet, so it couldn't have been Envy. Envy was moving quite freely around.
Yeah.
So
but
it had to be Fisher then.
Envy did, yeah. I think he got stunned up for sure by something. It had to have been a Fisher because Chrono came afterwards. And Chrono came before, rather.
Nah, I don't know.
So, yeah.
We can look at the replay later for that one. Either way, Cloud9 still sit 11 for 13. With that fight, they repaired the negative farm, which that was coming, like VP's, positive farm that was coming VP's way. So they went from 4,000 team net worth to roughly about 1.2, 1.3. And they gained about 3,000 experience during that engagement too. Not to mention, the Tidehunter has his Refresher Orb recipe, but never bought the Oblivion Staff yet. But he's pretty close to that.
Closer.
He's only like a couple of, well, he's about 600, 700 gold away from it.
Yep. Now, tell me real quick, if you look at the Roche clock, does that look like it's a 9-minute respawn? I still can't tell.
Yeah, it's, no, that's just a 1 minute now. It's a 1 minute
1 minute
respawn.
now, but I guess the total of 9 minutes then? Is that how we look at the clock here?
Oh, wait,
it's tilted and it's a little bit brighter.
You got 6 minutes for the Aegis. You got 2 minutes for the downtime before potential spawn time, and then 1 minute on top. So yes, math works.
Okay. Because just before, I mean, just moments before it hit that mark from 8 minutes to 11 minutes, it was like super glowing red in between that area that it could spawn.
But you notice the weird thing is, it's only meant to actually have 11 minutes to count down, but it's a 12-minute clock.
Dire's bottom tower
okay.
That's what screws with people's minds. Now, top lane, we go back to the game.
Radiant's top tower
that's what I was wondering.
On bottom lane, Paradise forcing out this lane to the tier 2 tower, doing some nice damage as well. And there's nothing really much C9 can do to keep this tier 3 tower alive. Maybe got some Pugna. Fortification will stop it. But they just did fortification for 1 Nether Blast. Still Pilot die, he'll bring down this tier 2 tower. So bonus money will come in. Does this give anything really major for C9? Like, you have actually Blink Dagger money for Pilot die, and maybe that's what they're searching for. He's got Blink Dagger, he's got Blink Dagger money, as well as a level 2 reincarnation.
Honestly, I think VP should realize by this point that if they want to make this push efficient and make it work, they really need the life drain buff up from the Aghanim Scepter. They need to get rid of these illusions right away, and as it stands, the Naga is just doing way too much damage to the push.
Bone's going to sell his TP scroll, and he can pick up his Actually, no, come it. Fader's got to give him the farm here too. There you go. Gush, Anchor Smash, boom. Refresher is done. Refresher is done. It's coming out in the courier. They have Refresher Ravage available. They have Song of the Siren up and running. They have Fader with a Reaver available too, so we got a lot of life points. There goes your smoke. And they're coming for a kill. The Refresher is now officially on the Tidehunter, but he's a little bit behind the line here. The Crypt Swarm coming out the middle of smoke. So fairly certain VP is going to go, yo guys! They're invis.
Ooh, I don't know if they spotted it, but I think Eternal Envy's Radiance might have caught the tail end of those creeps dying at mid. But regardless, they're gunning for the Viper at bottom lane, and G doesn't seem like he has an idea, and even if he did, his DP is down, so he's dead for sure.
Yeah, he's got no way out. Yeah, well, apart from BKB, but the snare's still going to be there. The arrow's coming in, Pyro's going to be connecting on that one, and the death prop with the fissure from Yol. He's actually getting away from this one. They've committed their smoke movement, as well as the exorcism, and they don't get a kill.
This is a, you know what it is? It's just that higher knowledge kicking in once again. You know, you have this 5-man train coming in for this Viper with half HP, and Envy told himself that, hey, we probably don't need the ensnare right away. And G, what looked like just a foolish cast of that BKB or a wasted charge, probably the best thing he could have done on the spot, gets himself out just as he was salving, and that was perfect. Really, really nicely done by them. Exorcism is popped. They didn't lose anything.
Yeah. And now they feel confident enough to go in for Roshan.
Oh,
however,
I don't know if they want to go into the pit. Naga Sleep is still available.
Yeah, and the BKB's down for another 30 seconds. And Naga Sleep, they still don't know about the double Ravage. Because the Tide never showed himself. He hung back a long, long way, and he never walked past an Observer Ward of virtus.pro either. So, if they work it out, which they should, considering the ward got de-warded with a gem over on Jotum, they'll know that Roshan's being done. He's at 5,000 life points and dropping significantly quickly. Yol's got a fissure available to keep him out if they do try and pop the Naga Sleep. And then in no position to come for this. Like, Envy never even came close to it. He's up on top lane farming up the dire jungle.
Yeah. Once again, just given how the fights go against Naga, it's not the worst thing in the world. Cloud9 is still pushing in almost every lane and basically getting vision over the majority of the map. So I think they're satisfied with that one, even though they did sort of quote-unquote lose Roshan. They're still in a pretty decent position. And this Naga is only getting bigger. He's creating a bigger CS gap. He's closing into his next item, which, I mean, I'm sure he can pick up the Manta style if he wanted to already. So the other thing, though, is Pugna just picked up an Aghanim Scepter, and that's the counter they've been looking for these illusions. The roundabout solution.
Give him some time, and Cloud9 can take over the world right now. And VP, maybe we should also be flagging the fact they shouldn't be giving him this time. Like, you got Nagus Immortal now in your sleeves, up the Viper. They're going to be pushing high ground. But do they have enough damage to really do that? And can they actually push high ground up against Double Ravage, Sleep, Exorcism, Skyra Spam, as well as like a Wraith King Ultimate? Like, can you even fight that with this current VP lineup? Knowing also that you could potentially have like buybacks coming out from Cloud9, because that's what helped them out last time. The crop died rather quickly, like during the top lane push, and then he just bought back, turned on the ultimate, and all of a sudden fun was being had by Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, as mentioned, like a lot of these solutions they have are roundabout. Like it's not direct. It doesn't really solve as much as it alleviates and offers temporary methods. So the game is only going to get harder for VP at this point. They've kind of missed their timing on what they could do, and all they could really rely on is avoid huge catch or huge pickoff. And I think they're waiting on the Aghanims to do that, but I don't know. I think that this Naga is actually going to have a very easy time pushing in every single lane to no real contest. There's no direct, like, single target disable that comes out from a smoke that can threaten Envy, and if it's from a moment's notice, then Envy can just cast Sleep, and most of the time his teammates have good stuns and good spells to fall back on if they're anywhere in proximity. So yeah, I would say VP, they better start hustling very, very hard, because they have really nice wards placed, but not anywhere near barging into enemy territory yet.
We got a gem being handed over to Pylai Dai. I was wondering for a moment if they put it into the Naga inventory, so she just like drops the Ring of Basilius and gets the gem up.
Yeah, that would be good because the illusions can start denying, but I would expect most of the wards at this point to kind of be on unpassable terrains.
Vader's got the full heart now. As far as your wards go, well, there's one which is on rather easy terrain. And that's it, actually. That's the only observer ward for the Dire side. It's got this one thing that's watching near where the tier 2 tower used to be in mid lane. That's their only ward, unless I'm blind, but I don't think cataracts have kicked in just yet. The Riptide onto that mid lane. Envy is being so efficient with the farming. Using his illusions to farm up every single camp, and then the bottom lane, while using himself to actually protect himself in the trees. But he'll keep this bottom lane pressured out. While mid lane, there's 4 heroes already here, but it's not the full 5 lineup. Seedoy is still not here in the mid lane. So if VP want to push high ground, they need to wait until that Void gets there. And by the time it gets there, Skywrath may be pushing up the top lane. Envy's already got a lot of momentum on the bottom lane. And he can TP himself back now, which he is doing. So he'll TP back with 2,400 gold. So buyback's available. And they're going to wait for VP to be out of position. But that Void's so far back. Look how far back he is. And this is where he wants to plant the Chrono. And this is where he has to be to avoid the sleep. Because now he's going to ulti on Paradise. Yule Scepter up. Paradise going to tick out a lot, but not completely. And now with the Ensnare over on God, he's got the Aegis Immortal, and they might be actually trigger this early with the Silence as well. Yep, there's your Crypt Swarm. They get the kill. The Fissure from Yoltron buys some space here. But the Exorcism from Fader, they want this death on the Viper. And his BKB won't protect him. BKB's up from Pugna 2. Drain the life points out while Bone 7 controlled up by that Chronosphere. God, though, still being beaten down by Paladai. And Envy comes into the engagement. The Radiance Burn back up again. And he triggers the Naga Sleep. They're going to get themselves some space. Fader's actually still got his ultimate up, but he needs to regenerate. And the Heart will kick in now. But they just use it to bail out. And very successfully. One hero lost right either side, tied for a Viper. And VP still can't get high ground.
I'm surprised that BZ just didn't start life training all the illusions that he saw. I don't know. I guess he went for different targets, but the second target he went for was the Wraith King, which was kind of pointless. I mean he did die once, so I guess if he got the kill, it would have been okay. But he went for the Death Prophet first, which was, I guess, wishful thinking sort of. He's got 2,300 life points to burn through. And his teammates were taking care of the Tidehunter, so all he had to do was take out illusions and his team could just fight. Even the Viper could probably fight properly. But they took too much damage because the illusions are doing too much work right now with the Diffusal Blade on top now.
Speaking of illusions, Yul's being chased down by one of these Naga illusions. They got Diffusal Blade in the back of him, plus actually having that Radiance Burn. And Yule Scepter from Fader will send him up. There's a little bit of support from the Miranda in the neighborhood, but all she can do is just throw an arrow. The concussive shot didn't get there from Aoi in time. And now Jottam is going to retreat. There's no Moonlight Shadow to use anymore. And Cloud9, they claim their jungle back again for the first time in a very long time.
Envy mostly would be happy with that, but he's already so content with his position because he can push out every single lane with illusions without much contest except the life drain coming out of the Pugna. And of course he has the Manta style, so there's even additional illusions coming out. If BZZ gets picked off here though, this is an extra tower on Cloud9. This is a huge momentum swing.
There's your jump. You got the Ensnare off, so BZZ gonna try and TP out. They got nothing to actually get through that apart from damage, which is so not close. Enough. Maybe that's the other reason why Envy might have been holding on to that Ensnare on the bottom lane. Worried about just the BKB TP out.
That's true. That could be a case, but well, yeah, in that scenario though, I mean, I think he could have been bursted with just that. I think it was just better thinking on his part. Yeah, if he did wait for the BKB specifically, or the TP rather, that's just the results of what could happen. Also, the other thing is, I guess it's the traditional Naga build that I guess Miracle and the West kind of follow suit on, but they don't level up net very often. They leave it at low levels in early stages for sure, and before they used to completely skip it. So Envy's actually picked up level 2 on Ensnare, but I don't think he's gonna level up to 4. I think he's just gonna keep it there and get stats.
Well, most of the time you just want it for interruption, don't you?
Exactly.
It's not for anything more. Oh, hello, Yule Scepter. They actually got there in time from Fader. I thought God was home and hosed. Now Fader commits the ultimate. God's gone. 71 seconds on the sideline, and he doesn't have buyback. He's short by 718 gold.
Yeah.
If they push fast enough, they could take up the mid-tier 2 tower.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if they're aware of that knowledge yet, and of course given the positioning, I'm not sure if they want to commit that deep. I think they're content with just sitting back and farming. Once again, MB is getting bigger and bigger. He's actually so big.
I'm actually interested to see what he's going to build into as well, because we're not seeing like, you can go to the BTs. He's took these damn arcane roots on himself. But like, there's BTs that kind of need to be purchased anyway. He kind of wants to have more life points as well. Considering he's got 3.1k gold, we're probably looking at a Reaver into a Heart. No, he actually purchased the second level Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, the mana burn difference is quite huge. But I see his concern because I thought it might have been just a flat out boots of travel there as well. I mean, he did TP back for it, so it might have been a home item for sure. But I think he wants to save for buyback to be on the safe side of things.
Looks like Fea's about to finish up his own Shiva's Guard. He's got 2.8k gold with a plate mail after having Heart and Yule Scepter.
Yeah, it didn't seem it seems like it wasn't too long ago that he picked up the Heart in its completion, and now getting the Shivas. Once again, BP not doing much in response. I don't really see them coming back from this kind of disengaged kind of style where they don't do much against this Naga Siren that's pushing in every lane. And part of it is because they can't. Their heroes don't respond to it too well, aside from the Pugna. But they need to get something done, and I don't know the direct solution for them. But it's a necessity at this point, because as it stands, this Naga's only going to get bigger. This Death Prop is already huge too. I didn't know he was so close to the Shivas. And of course, there's the Wraith King issue that's going to kick in as well, because this is no longer a support hero. A lot of things.
Just something weird. But did I miss out on something? But I was certain the pilot I had a Blink Dagger. He purchased a battle on the top lane. He must have sold it again straight away, so he had buyback available.
It's possible. I know he had the Blade Mill as the first item, that's for sure. But
yeah,
I don't know. I thought he had Blink just now as well. What's?
Yeah, I know. Did he drop it somewhere?
Well, I don't see that making too much sense. But engagement coming in. Oh, yo, nice dodge.
Yeah, able to blink himself away to safety. You know,
I'm curious about that Blink Dagger. Is my mind going haywire on me?
There's a new one. He bought a new one. Nahaz, do you know what the hell happened to it? Because it just flagged for me, like, why isn't he blinking around the map anymore? It's because he doesn't own a Blink Dagger. The only other option is he accidentally dropped it to pick something else up and then lost it. And if that's the case, that's a big boo-boo. Now the mid-tier 2 tower is going to go down. Seedoy jumps in. The Naga Sleep will go. Seedoy isolated. The Ravage! Oh, Bone 7, that wasn't intentional. But he has used the refresher, so the secondary Ravage is there, but now he hits him when there's 3 B-Gaming heroes already up. That's a disaster Ravage, but Bone 7 somehow still. Eternal Envy is managing to salvage the situation, pushing into BZZ. They need the extra vision. Pyro with a body block, and he can get the Hellfire Blast off. The illusions, there's no rip time, but there's an instead to hold him here. And the Echo Slam, too late. It's already a triple kill for Eternal Envy. Pylai loses his reincarnation. Well, the Tide Focus down by God. Blink away, Seedoy. Little bit of damage. Envy, is he going to come back in? Yeah, he will. Pylai's asking for help. The illusion's almost killing off Seedoy, and they're burning down Yol rather effectively too. But he'll fissure and keep him out. But the double blow and Ravage, Shiva would be proud. And right now, virtus.pro holding the line up against Cloud9.
I don't actually know what kind of an impact Ravage. Never mind. No need to go back on that. G, about to fall.
And because he's easy money in the mid.
Yeah, it almost seemed like somebody was telling him Ravage. Like, it almost felt like everybody was yelling at him something. He knew from that engagement at top lane that they had BKB, so he wasn't going to connect to every target. And BKB takes priority over everything else coming out of a Naga Sleep in Dota 2, which is what cost China TI2 as well. But I don't know, Bone 7, first time shame on you, second time shame on me is how the saying goes.
Yeah, that's gonna be something he'll want to forget.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll make highlight clips about it. It's just title it. Shiva would be proud, and that's all it's gonna be.
I'm so glad he did that. No, the funny thing is, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Like, what it did was the Earthshaker couldn't blink in with a big Echo Slam, which he kind of saved for the Naga or saved for him later. But yes, there was 2 with Ravage in a row with a Naga setup.
This career is taking a long time. He's laden down the Butterfly as well as the Blink Dagger.
Ooh, he's not picking up a... Well,
no,
I understand his concerns on not picking up the heart.
Envy.
Pardon me?
Envy, turn, courier. Turn, that direction. That direction. He's microing a lot of units, I understand. It's a Roshan, like, but his supports can be looking out for this. I guess it's a Roshan fight and you want to be having a butterfly. Unless he's got plans to go back to base. Like, that's the only other reason why.
Oh yeah, I certainly hope he hasn't forgotten by the time Roshan kicks in.
By the way,
looks like he knows now.
Next level thoughts. Imagine if the courier was actually slowed down, judging by the net worth on the courier. Travel slowly the more money you have on the courier. Thought. Only just came to me. Obviously a really bad thought, but still a thought nonetheless. Butterfly is now delivered, as well as a fresh gem. That's our 2000's gem now over on Pilot Eye. And they're going to smoke up, but look how close they are. VP, they jump in. The Yule Scepter is over on the Viper, but Bone 7, now you can ravage on 2 BKB targets. He did get the Marana this time around, however. And Envy brings his units in. They're going close on God and Seedoy. The Naga Sleep, who was trying to isolate them. There goes your Mystic Flare. God, 4-staffed up. The Moonlight Shadow forced again. Sentry Ward revealing him. The Orb will fly out for him, but they don't have any kind of vision. Maybe they're not required. Scareth Mage Orb will be able to connect. And BZZ locked in position, sealed up. It's 2 for 2. Seedoy battling up against Naga, and Naga. While Pylai Die facing up against Yol. 4-star of Bambi, bringing him close. A double kill for this Naga Siren. And currently Naga still undead in this game. 8-0-11 with 400 CS in 42 minutes, 26,000 net worth, and soon to own Aegis the Immortal, which probably should be given to Aoi 2000.
Yeah, this Naga just seems to be uncontested in every team fight. They don't have good
The arrows are coming. They had an Observer Ward up on top of the hill, and now he's going to Hellfire Blast into the Pugna. The Ensnare's going again, but Aoi, look for the seal. BZZ TPing out, but it's not going to work. The damage is too much, and Envy now claims his ninth kill. And he's looking for more. Jottam has the leap available, but Ensnare, he'll leap out of it. Very, very quick. But they never killed off Roshan. But now he's going to...
He wants him.
Oh, he more than wants him. 4-staff up. Diffuser Blade going to be committed. The illusion's up a little bit higher, and they got him. Beyond godlike. He won't get his streak, though. But right now, I don't think he really cares. With all of VP on the sidelines, Cloud9 just pushed the mid-tier 3 tower.
Wow. Looks like Bone 7 MVP so far. Oh, there it is. The Solar Ravage. No, he got the Viper. Oh, it wasn't a Solar Ravage, Toby. I'm sorry.
Bone 7 is still going to die. He anchor smashes quickly, but he dies for the glory of the Ravage. The million ranks is the only thing brought down at the moment. There were buybacks. One came out from the Marana, but so many of them were used before. Only Viper is the hero who doesn't have his buyback on cooldown. But even then, he's still short by 600 or so gold. I really don't think we're at the point with this game where VP, no matter what plays they make, no matter like, even if you get like a 5-man chrono, they do not have the damage output in order to kill off Cloud9. Especially that Naga Siren. Naga can 1v5 this VP lineup right now. Because they've also got no direct damage either.
It's just a mix of two things really. Not enough farm in the Void is one, and not enough farm in the Pugna as well is the other. The game just got dragged on, and Pugna couldn't keep up with the pace of Naga's pushing as well as farming. So when it comes to these team fights, the Pugna now, BZZ has like a 4-second BKB, and as soon as that's over, you're facing up against a potential like 4 or 5 different ways of disabling this Pugna up, because it's the Skywrath Silence that he has to watch out for the most, or one of 2 Ravages potentially, and Wraith King throwing out stuns, and DP throwing out silences and Yules as well. There's too many things to interrupt the chain of casting coming out of VP. So the only solution which they have for Naga Illusions in the Chronosphere or the Life Train, it doesn't connect.
This is not going to work. They put an Observer Ward down, and Pilot Eye instantly pounces. The Fissure will go on him. They're going to try and bring him down, but this is a level 3 reincarnation. So even though they do bring him down, they'll respawn up. And, well, I think he's considering leaving his team for dead there. You can see him. He flinched. He wanted to just run up the middle lane. And now, where are you, Bone? He has to refresh into Ravage. He doesn't have Ravage. And Viper Strike, he'll blink away from it. But the Naga Sleep is being wasted. The mid-rank is not going down. The top tier 3 tower, however, the illusions are doing their job there. Back in towards the Roche Pit. Piledeye bringing down the Netherward. The Fissure drops in the big chrono. Catching up 3 heroes, but who's he battling into? Yol jumps in. He wants the Echo Slam hit. The drain out on Fader. They're going to bring down 2 heroes. Force up. Yol, Piledeye caught him out inside the pit, but now Seedoy tanking up, leaps away. They do get 3 for the price of nothing. Well, apart from their mid-ranks, and they're losing their top at the same time. But apart from that, nothing is being lost by VP.
I have to say, Envy is carrying this game so ridiculously hard.
He's coming up for the kill. He's going to take the range ranks. There's no fortification. And Roshan's taking too long for them to bring down, and Jot him. Whoa, Riptide, way! Oh, 41 life points. And goodbye, top racks.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Poor little Jot. Poor little Jot.
I'm surprised he didn't just purge him on the way and just
They're still
take
not
him
finished
down.
Roshan. They've only just killed off Roshan. And the illusions are attacking the tier 4 tower. Envy triggers the Song of the Siren. And who's he going to find? He'll find Viper, but she's just going to TP out. He can't find an opening. A good thing for him he bought BTs, but he can sell the drums and pick up a full heart now. 5.4k gold on this Naga Siren.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even know if he wants a heart. It would be good for sure.
What else would you get?
I don't see much else he can get, but I don't know.
You could try.
Judging by his way of thinking, he might just want to buy a crit or something, but he would be under 2,000 life points on his illusions.
You could go Scotty.
Oh yeah, Scotty's another option. Although Scotty has been experimented on before on illusion heroes, and it turns out just either multiple hearts or an abyssal is better, or even crit, because illusions can crit.
Abyssal actually may not be a bad choice.
Yeah, abyssal is actually one of the favorites. And refresher orb's an option too, but refresher is kind of like a 7th or 8th slot item, where you have the courier just standing on standby.
You noticing too, Envy's turning on his radiance, turning on and off his radiance. Like he turns it off after making the mirror images, so the mirror images hold the radiance effect, and then he just turns it off when he's walking around the map. I don't know what this is really for, because like there's no morphling on the map. I know that he's going to get too concerned about the wave pressuring out too far, unless he's worried about revealing the fact that he's walking across the map. If there's like someone nearby that then gets tickled by the radiance.
I think it's actually just habitual practice for himself.
Now,
very nice.
That wasn't for him. That wasn't for him. That was actually for Piledeye, because BZZ was right next to him, and Piledeye had. Actually, no, he doesn't have the gem. He doesn't know BZZ was there.
The story of Piledeye this game, items just disappear from his inventory. Yeah.
I still want to know what happened to that. I'm assuming Nahans had to run away for a little bit and didn't get into this game, because he had a lecture coming up. But Envy, he's now chasing at the middle lane. Yol has to blink himself away. He knows just that tick damage from the Radiance already makes it almost impossible for him to be part of team fights. Man, I gotta know. I gotta know what happened to that blink dagger. Anyone who does know, send it to me on tweet. There you go, on Twitter. If you're watching it, inside of Dota TV, you can go back in time and you can catch it up. But yeah. Tweet me at Toby1Dota. Let me know what happened to the blink dagger. There's a way to get our answer. Look to the community. Envy, Naga sleep. You got Viper Strike. The arrow, however, gonna cancel his TP. But there's so many heroes around here. Fader will go, alright, let's commit. Double silence. BZZ and God have to use their BKBs. Really low duration. Not to mention Ravage 1 only connects on BZZ, but Fader's ultimate Ravage 2 hits on both. And Fader's melee physical damage is just so high, they burn through the Aegis Immortal. And they will bring down God. There's no way to run away from this one. Mystic Flare into the tree line. Crypt Swarm as well, but Fader will take the double kill. Meanwhile, Eternal Envy's coming down the middle lane. And he's going to get ready to force this out. Not to mention his illusions are prepping for the but he just takes the bottom tower. Which means they've lost the illusions. So they can't mop up the creep wave straight away. But then again, Chief's guard, Piledeye in, they're coming for the GG push. Don't, you have no Ravage. He's going to gush up though. And then Piledeye focusing on the Nether Ward. No Decrepify allowed because they sealed up BZZ. So he couldn't protect his own Nether Ward. But Yol fishes on Piledeye. He's got his reincarnation back off cooldown. Still doesn't really care. In fact, he's bound to isolate the heroes. Envy triggers his ultimate off. So he's actually buying space for the rest of the teammates just to pick off the bottom racks. But fortification will be used. Yol, Parlay is currently soloing him up. Jonathan's actually killing himself on Parlay's Blade Mail. But they will bring him down, but it's Reincarnation, back to World of the Living, crits on the first one to bring down the Earthshaker. He's still battling up against Jonathan now. Well, leap away. But the Hellfire Blast doesn't work. Parlay die. The thirst for kills. He is the one and true king. Seedoy, he wanted a Chrono. The Hellfire Blast from Parlay stopped it for a moment. It led Fate to get the silence off, but now Mystic Flare dropping, but they call the GG. It is over. The Fortress was being brought down while all this was going on. And G to the GG.
Yeah, two games that went a lot longer than I'd expected, but both games pretty good. And strategically, Cloud9, you know, they picked up this Naga Siren and Eternal Envy once again. Some really heavy carrying. His Naga is shining very brightly, not just with the Radiance lately.
The answer was, and we were both wrong. We were both wrong. He didn't buy the Blade Mail before he bought the Blink Dagger. What he did is he bought the Blink Dagger, sold it, and then bought the Blade Mail for the top engagement. That's the answer I got back from about 20 people to my Twitter. So,
see, I knew there was something off, dude. It's a shame.
Yeah, it felt a little wrong. It felt a little wrong, but at the end of the day, Cloud9 feel a little right, especially with the Naga who goes 10-0-14. Like that makes for a very, very happy day. Tidehunter was, if he didn't get the kill, he was on his way to the Malk Award. He had one kill and 11 deaths with the 11 assists.
I mean, I for one will be changing my Steam name to Bone 7's Ravage.
I just think a proud Shiva, That's all we really need. All right, that's going to wrap up our broadcast for today. We do have more action coming up for the D2CL tomorrow night, starting at 18 EST. Fnatic will be playing up against Power Rangers, Empire for date with virtus.pro. And then it's going to be the D2CL games at night with Sneaky Nick's Assassins going up against UG and Na'Vi US going up against NOT. So that's all the games coming up tomorrow evening. And we'll also be starting at 7 AM in the morning. I'm actually the one casting until 2:30 in the morning. Yay! We're starting at 7 AM, the ESL 1 Grand Finals, Newbie up against VG Gaming, a full best of 5. Check out joindota.com for all the details for that one. We'll have Cena Cup action as well at the same time. Cal will be casting from the Studio 5 on the blue live stream for JD, and we'll also then be switching over to the red live stream for the Winners Bracket Final, and that'll be also for the Cena Cup. So check out all those details, all those games, joindota.com, place to find everything. Apart from Clairvoyance and social networking, you can't find that anywhere because he's just that exclusive. But thanks very much for joining me. Clairvoyance will be back tomorrow morning too. So yeah, thanks for watching everybody. Enjoy the VODs. We'll see you next time on the live stream.